yesterday watching Netflix. We watched this great movie, and it was like, well, maybe it wasn't great, but it was pretty good and enjoyable. And it's all about, like when you meet the right person, you think they're the right person, and then maybe they're not, and then the right person comes along, and they really are, and they're what's best for you. And it was just a sweet little story, and I think we both enjoyed it. And like at the end, the right people end up together, and yada yada. But then, of course, after him and I are talking and things are great, the next clip for our next movie is, of course, a movie about like how this guy and this girl together and how she's dying on him and how he's going to survive after she's gone. And I could just see Jim like completely shut down. Like those movies are off limits. Like any movie I know where like the wife dies, completely not going for us. And I was just thinking like how we can get so caught up in like those great moments. Like Satan can really like turn us around and get lost. And where you were totally connecting, it almost could have completely shut you down and made you pull away from me.
Well, that is totally how I grieve, is to isolate, to just shut down emotionally. And it's easy for me. And obviously this illness is way harder on you than it is for me. I mean, you're the one who has all this pain and all this hurt, and you struggle to do normal daily functions. Like, you live on this couch, and that is
I know, I mean, I do and I don't. I mean, this is the thing. Like, I know, like, you think that, and I do, I feel restricted, but I try to make the most of my life even in the midst of it.
No doubt, no doubt. But, so, like, this is obviously way harder on you than it is for me. But I can't shed the hurt. I can't shed the, like, just terrible feelings that exist inside of me. And
the fear.
Yeah, the fear, of course. It's the fear. And I feel like the enemy wants to exploit that fear all day, every day. He's just whispering in my ears all the time. And seeing that movie clip last night, I was like, yep.
Of course. Well, and it could have taken everything from a good point of you and I being connected to totally shut down. And I think that's where, like, when you talk about fear and as a couple and as a team, and no matter, or, if you're single, you have to talk about it. You have to talk about the fear. You have to talk about the fear of your family. Like, if it's a health thing, like, their fear of losing you. And then in the midst of that, what does that mean? And then being able to connect in it and not isolate, because God never called us to do it alone. And when we do it alone, that's when like sin comes in and stuff like that. So keeping those lines of communication open and praying together and being in the Word.
Yeah, absolutely. And those are all things that are easy to forego when you're feeling it so much. But our connection to the Lord has changed everything for us. And honestly, He's changed everything for us. We wouldn't live in Denver if it weren't for this illness. I wouldn't be a pastor if it wasn't for this illness.
We've built relationships, and I've been able to build relationships, and like we talk about it all the time. Like, people will talk to me because of my disease. Like, they feel safe with me, and in turn, I get to share. Like, people ask, like, why aren't you angry? Mm-hmm. And all I can point back to constantly is the Lord.
Yeah. So
just like little outtakes of like, kind of, how do you keep walking in the midst of those hard circumstances, no matter where you're at in life? How do you keep going? And I think, call it out, identify it, and in marriage, talk about it, pray about it, and be in the Word.
Absolutely. That was good. That was a pathetic high five.
It was terrible.
I forgive you.
It was really rough. Yeah. I have a little nerve density, really.
You didn't even move.
I did, because it felt like it was maybe better.
Love you.
Ow. Was that a good one? See you later.